Yeah.
Let's talk about Phil Donahue, all right? So following Phil Donahue's demise last month, LGBTQ plus fans are honoring the late journalist for his groundbreaking coverage of gay rights and the AIDS crisis. The 88-year-old talk show host and 8-time Daytime Emmy winner was a true ally. From inviting a, quote, real live homosexual on his show in 1968, all right? Can you say Stonewall? To discussing AIDS with activist Larry Kramer in 1982. Donahue broke new ground on daytime TV. He also hosted the first GLAAD Media Awards in 1990 and won Media Person of the Year that year. Donahue's fearless advocacy offered visibility and hope, moving the needle on LGBTQ plus rights and representation. Phil Donahue was an ally. Rest in peace, sir. What are we all talking about? So I've always wanted to do this, Alex. I've always wanted to be a talk show host. I've always wanted to be talking about current events and entertainment and stuff like that. And I remember being a kid seeing Oprah. I remember being a kid seeing Phil Donahue, Ricky Lake, seeing all these people, right?
Yeah.
And I gravitated to Phil Donahue and Ricky Lake because they were the ones that would put up LGBTQ plus people. I think I saw my very first trans person on one of those shows, you know? And at that time, I still wasn't sure about my sexuality, where I was going with that, right? Fast forward to now, in 68, in 82, he was so far before his time.
Yeah.
Before it was cool to be an ally of our community, he was doing these things.
I remember he was I call him one of my babysitters, but one of my hot dad babysitter, because at 4:00, Monday through Friday on NBC, Phil Donahue would go on. Then Oprah came on ABC, but they started competing with each other. I remember the club kids from New York going on there.
Yes.
I remember, I remember homosexuals going on, racial issues that were being talked about.
Yes.
A real a trailblazer, talking about things that nobody was talking about, and that's why his ratings were so high, because the freaks were out. You know what I mean? And you're like a little kid, and you're watching all of this, and you're like, oh, at least I didn't feel like I was. It's not that you were a freak, but you're just sort of okay, it's this is a weird person that's being spotlighted.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, but it was interesting.
It was very...
I don't think I knew where I fit into all that, right, during that time, but I knew that it was not something that anybody else was talking about, right?
Yeah.
And me growing up in Jersey, where I was 20 minutes from Manhattan, I was like, okay, that's in New York. I need to get there, right? I need to be around the freaks and everything, because that's, you just, when you're young and you're gay, you don't really know where you fit, and you don't really know, is this real? Is this, people are telling you you're abomination, and that it's a phase, and and then you see on TV, you're validated, so to speak.
Yeah, and he was, he just made it okay. You exist, you're okay. There's nothing, I always got sort of comfort just listening to him and learning.
And learning.
Learning.
Well, and that's it. He was educating people that probably maybe didn't have or didn't know they had gay people in their family, And honestly, my last comment is just, he didn't have to. He was a white cisgendered man that, He
was white. He was
very white. Very white. He didn't have to stand up for us, right? And yet he did. And during that time, and still even now, birds of a feather, he would get shit like that, right? Yeah. Oh, you have gay people on your show, you must be gay too.
Yeah.
And instead of saying, I won't do that again, he kept.
And he was married. He was married to Marlo Thomas, and Marlo Thomas had, St. Jude's, and it was just sort of this giving couple. This giving couple, yeah.
Yeah. Rest in peace, dude.
Rest in peace.